Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review, and this is of The Arrival. This is actually thanks to Till from Germany. This actually has a couple of features that's not on the DVD over here. It's got a couple stuff. It's got a little featurette, some tiny interviews, some B-roll footage that they shot on set, a trailer. So it's not like packed with features. I still think you have a good special edition of this, but it's better than the DVD here. Now, The Arrival came out, I think, around 1996, and directed by David Twohy, if I pronounce this right. David Twohy. This is the same guy who would go on to direct Pitch Black, Chronicles Riddick, the upcoming Riddick, which I have not seen. But this also came out the same year as Independence Day, which is, I'm guessing, why it didn't really do much, because kind of got clobbered by, well, I'm not sure if Independence Day came out before or after it, but I know at the time, I think it debuted like at number 5, and I guess they're like, well, really, Charlie Sheen? Charlie Sheen just wasn't as popular of name in 1996. Like, they know Charlie Sheen, but it's not like a big box office draw. It's too bad, though, because The Arrival, I really enjoy this film. I've always enjoyed this film, The Arrival. You have Charlie Sheen here, Zane Zaminsky, a guy who, I guess you call him an astrologer. He likes to listen to the stars, listen for radio signals. And one day, him and his friend find the signal, and they're rushing it, and they're able to record it, and they bring it to their boss, played by Ron Silver. But sadly enough for him, he actually gets shit canned, even though you have possible evidence of that we're now alone, and I get shit canned for it. At the same time, you have this scientist played by, I believe, Lindsay Crouse played her, and she's a scientist who finds this sort of poppy field, this sort of little field of grass and stuff in the Arctic. And it's like, well, how the hell did that get there? So it kind of cuts a little bit between her trying to figure this out, and that with this info, apparently it's going to get a lot hotter. Global warming is going to be a lot bigger effect. That the whole world is going to increase by like 10 degrees, and that's, I forget, like 10 years or something like that. 5 years. I forget the actual terms. Pretty much catastrophic event, as well as seemingly impossible. But Zane Zaminsky, Charlie Sheen, he's having problems with his girlfriend because he's a bit of a paranoid type of guy. But he's trying to work out with his girlfriend, and he's really obsessed with this signal. Really obsessed, like, hey, I didn't dream this, right? This is real, right? He even goes to, he wants to get another job somewhere, and the guy says, well, I can't hire you. From what I understand, you've been faking signals. So not only that, they're telling lies about him. So he actually confronts Ron Silver. He's like, why are you telling lies about me? And then Ron Silver says, I don't know what you're talking about. What tape? The tape with the signal on it. And he realized, okay, something really fucked up, really weird is going on. So he investigates. Uh, his people he knows end up dying. Like his buddy ends up dead by an accident. He's got to figure out how to get this signal again. So he actually, I'm not sure he's actually working at this TV like satellite dish place, or he just was able to get the equipment. But he comes in, he draws his diagram for all these satellite dishes that he can be able to control them. So he's like, hey, can I see your dish? It'll be for free. I thought that was pretty cool, interesting idea. And it sets it all up. And then he actually meets this kid called Kiki. Uh, Actually, like, gives him a job, and he's like, okay, just push that button. This button right here? Yeah, that button. That button right there. Forget it, you're fired. Oh, wait, okay, I'll push it. And he's able to find the signal again. Now, the first signal was airbase, space base, but this one, this sort of a Mexican radio station with it. And it's like, what is this? What the hell is this? And puts two and two together and goes, they're pretty much talking to each other. One was space based, one was land based, And so he tries to find the source in Mexico. So he goes to Mexico. And strange things happen. He goes to a radio station that's burned down now. He is almost killed. He's in this bathtub, and the bathtub up top like gives way and almost crushes him. He has to get out of the way. I thought that was an interesting way to assassinate someone. Never seen that done before. I thought that was interesting. Uh, Long story short, he chases the guy. He turns around, and the guy actually bends his legs and jumps up, and he looks up and sees the guy up there. He's like, how the hell did that happen? Meets Lindsay Crouse there, the scientist. Tossed her a bit. And in a way, you kind of think that Lindsay Crouse, the scientist, is going to be maybe the lead, one of the leads. It would be Charlie Sheen and Lindsay Crouse. It kind of seems like that's what it's leaning towards, that it's going to be Lindsay Crouse as well as this girl, that they're going to be sort of the two leads of the film. But then Lindsay Crouse pretty much gets killed. They have these like poisonous scorpions and stuff waiting for her, and she ultimately dies. And Charlie Sheen finds this establishment and this like hidden satellite dish that pops out of the ground. And he sneaks in, and he finds out what's going on. That there's aliens among us. I thought the special effects were really well done. Like underneath the facility, it's like these big furnaces and high-tech gadgets. Like he's falls into this tunnel, and this stuff is jutting out into this like gigantic furnace. He has to jump out of the way. These aliens, which look like this, which I thought was a cool design for the aliens. Can't see it, a little bit too dark. They actually go in this machine, and it makes them so that they have human skin. And one thing he noticed a little bit suspicious is that there's a guy who looks exactly like Ron Silver down in Mexico, but the guy doesn't notice him, so he's like, okay, that's when he's like, okay, something really is up. But getting back on point, what I like about this film, it takes sort of a interesting sort of paranoia, you could say smarter approach to the alien invasion. Is that they're not coming in spaceships, they're coming through the back door, so to speak. They're hiding amongst themselves, and the whole plan is to pretty much make these certain gases that pretty much terraforming the planet, changing the air, changing the heat, because the aliens don't like the cold. Which I thought was a better idea than like Signs, where all of a sudden Signs is like, oh yeah, we don't like water. See, if they had taken that approach where they're trying to get rid of the water, or they're trying to get rid of the liquid, and that sort of backdoor approach, that would have made more sense to me. So that's why I like The Arrival more than say Signs, because it actually made a bit more sense, as outlandish of an idea as it is. I thought Charlie Sheen did a great job. I definitely say this is one of my favorite films of his. To me, I would say his last great film was The Arrival. I can't think of one between '96. I didn't watch TV, my Two and a Half Men, so I can't really say it's that. But from 1996 to then, I can't think of another movie other than The Arrival that I just say is a really good film. At least I can't think of it. Maybe there is, but I can't think of it. So I would say this is his last great film, which is back in '96. Now he's doing shit like the Scary Movie sequels and shit. And Winning, which is drugged up head. I miss this Charlie Sheen, where it's just about, making a good movie. But, that's me. But I like that sort of, trying to, through the back door, try to figure out what to do, try to figure out how to approach this, how to approach that, what to do, what should I do, I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really interesting. And he actually gets in the machine himself and puts another skin on top of his skin and is trying to fake his way out of it. Gets out of Mexico, confronts Ron Silver. I like this line where Ron Silver goes, "Oh, you don't look good." Oh yeah, you look. I forget exactly what Ron Silver said, but Charlie Sheen said, "Well, actually, I look like a can of smashed assholes." I thought that was just this sort of weird line, but it's definitely one that I remember. And I chuckled at. And he has to figure out what to do. He actually is able to film a bit of the conversation he has with Ron Silver, so he has some evidence. He goes back to his place. Another cool thing they have is not only the facility and stuff that you see, and I thought it was pretty good special effects for a low budget film, and they did a pretty good job with the special effects. They also have this ball, which is sort of like a miniature black hole type of thing, where it lights up and spins, and it sucked everything in Zane Zaminsky's room up. And this ball makes an appearance at the end of the film as well. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. And I like the kid says, "Shit, you got evicted." That was pretty funny. He has to figure out what to do. He wants to get this tape up. He has to use a satellite dish. His girlfriend is there, and he's not sure about his girlfriend to trust her because she had previously told him, "Hey, get out of the business, get out of it, of doing the listening to the stars." And he's had an off again, on again relationship with his girlfriend, and gets there. And even suspects her more because she admits, "Yeah, I did call the police, but you're talking about aliens and stuff." And I thought the girl, I think it's Teri Polo, she did a good job. Teri Polo. I mean, you buy her, you understand her. I mean, if your boyfriend or whoever comes up and starts talking about aliens, what would you do? I mean, what would you think? It's like, "You're scaring me." It made sense. They the bad guys are there. They get chased by the bad guys. He puts this chain around the door, and she goes, "I'll hold it." And Charlie Sheen don't buy it. And she goes, "For once in your paranoid life, will you trust me?" And ultimately does. But then you find out, I thought this was a nice little twist, that the kid is actually the alien. It's the kid. And even Ron Silver goes, "See, I told you, Zane. You don't know the half of it." And it's a pretty exciting finale. I like the line where it's like, "They're not gone." She goes, "Why?" "Because we're not dead yet." And they bat the van of the bad guys, and they watch. And I like the shot where Charlie Sheen and the girl get right out of the way as the van fucks up the door, the back of the van, and the axe that was holding the door flies off and barely almost hits Charlie Sheen in the face. Charlie Sheen had this like cold shit there and hits it and freezes them. He's trying to get the tape, and they have that ball, and it lands. It falls to the ground, and it starts picking up. So the girl escapes, and Zane has to get the tape. And Ron Silver grabs him, and Charlie Sheen chops his hand off, and he has to get out of there. I thought this was really good model work and special effects, where the ball is pretty much sucking everything up, and it's actually fucking up the satellite dish. So that the girlfriend gets on top of the satellite dish, and it's like sliding on top of this gigantic satellite dish. I thought it was a pretty exciting finale. And Zane gets out, and the last alien is the kid, and he goes, "More people are going to know about this." And the last image is Zane has gotten the tape up and all the major networks. I hate the sequel because the sequel has, 2 years later, Charlie Sheen's character is dead, is found dead. And now it's up to his brother, stepbrother, whatever the fuck. And I'm like, by Patrick Muldoon, and fuck the Rival 2. It's like Kickboxer 2. To me, it doesn't exist. I hate when they do that shit. Just defeats the purpose of the first movie. I hate that shit. Plus, it's a shitty sequel as well. So fuck that movie. What I like about the film is it's a sci-fi, but I guess you'd call this more of a thriller. It's not an action film. This is more of a thriller. It's like instead of government going after him, it's aliens going after Charlie Sheen and trying to stop. It'd be like a good version of the X-Files. X-Files movie. Aliens are among us. They want it kept secret. And this would be actually a pretty good X-Files movie as well. It's well directed by David Twohy. He knows how to handle the budget. He handled the budget very well. I thought the special effects and model work for a lower budgeted flick was pretty damn good. I really like Charlie Sheen. I don't mind. I like his look with the goatee and stuff. I thought it was a nice different look. It shows he's not a buff action hero. He's just a guy who's listened to the stars. I thought that was a kind of a cool take on it. That it's this guy, the paranoia. Uh, like the tagline says, "Stop watching the stars. Start watching your back." That pretty much sums up the movie. you know, he's wondered who should he trust, who can he trust, since people either end up dying, or even the cab driver, when he gets to Mexico, he's actually an alien. But, you know, that guy gets his comeuppance. But I thought it was an exciting thriller, entertaining science fiction film. I thought the plot is actually pretty well done. I think it's actually a pretty smart flick. I don't think it's a dumb film at all. The aliens, the designs of the aliens are, I like the designs of them. Like their brain sort of flaps and then it closes together when they want to look like more like a human, with the human skin being put on them. But some really interesting ideas like that, and the sort of the black hole type of ball, and the acting. Ron Silver, may he rest in peace. Always a good bad guy, same as here, as he was in Time Cop, among many other films. Deadly Outbreak. Lindsay Crouse, for a little bit she's good as a scientist. Teri Polo as the girlfriend, I liked her. I'm not sure what we're going to see. I really enjoy The Arrival. I thought The Arrival was a solid science fiction film and was a good thriller. I thought it was a good story. It's a good story that I thought was well told. And you know what? That's kind of hard to find nowadays. But The Arrival, I'm not really the biggest fan of this cover. I like the theatrical poster cover where it's like Charlie Sheen on one, the alien on the other. It's mostly black, and then the satellite dish underneath. I like that cover better than this. I mean, I'm not really a fan of that, but you know, what can you do? I'm still very glad to have this DVD, thanks to Till from Germany for sending it. The features are not that long at all. There's really not much features at all. Like, the interviews are like a couple minutes at most. I'm not even sure if this has an audio commentary like the Laserdisc has or something. But I'm still glad to have it. It's better than nothing. But I think this could still use a special edition, especially in the US. Like a look back on The Arrival and stuff. But anyway, I definitely think it's one of Charlie Sheen's best films, and definitely one of David Twohy's best films. Enjoyable film. I mean, I enjoy the film. But that's my review of The Arrival. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later.